Hello from Tulum. I am here in Mexico's beautiful Riviera Maya, in a city with a very unique reputation. If you're not familiar, Tulum is known as essentially a luxury vacation destination. And if you know me, I'm not really the luxurious travel type. So, in this video, I'm on a mission to see another side of Tulum. I want to know what you can do on a budget, what the hidden gems are, and if I can get a little taste of local life here in Tulum.
I'm working on my foreign voice.
Tulum is made up of several different neighborhoods, and if you're coming here, you're going to want to decide ahead of time where you want to stay. Right now, I am in Pueblo, that's the central downtown area, and it's definitely where you're going to find the cheapest prices and the most local life here in Tulum. In addition to being the neighborhood with the cheapest accommodation, I found hostel dorm beds for only $16 US a night. This neighborhood is also filled with souvenir shops, bars, restaurants, and street art. So right now I'm figuring I just arrived. It's time for a little initial wander around. Let's take in all Pueblo has to offer and find some street art.
Ivy and vine, poison and wine. It's just a matter of how you choose to waste your time. Cranberry juice, old paper news. If it's all the same, then tell me what is the use.
Immediately upon arrival, I did make my favorite purchase for a 90+ degree travel day, which is a 2-liter bottle of sparkling water. Feel free to continue the sparkling versus still debate in the comments, but I am always team sparkling. For those of you who have been following the channel for several years, you may remember that I spent some time in Mexico in 2021 in Playa del Carmen. That's about an hour drive from here. So in a lot of ways, my experience there was very similar to Tulum, but I do see a lot of differences between the two cities. Playa feels a lot more walkable to me. I mean, the beach is only a block away from the main going out stretch, whereas Tulum is really segregated into different neighborhoods. There are definite pros and cons to each. I mean, I really liked having beach access, really easy right there in Playa. However, I've heard that the beaches in Tulum are so much nicer than the ones in Playa. So it's a lot of choose your own adventure. You have some great options no matter where you go in the region. And my advice is always visit everything. As I'm walking along here, you can see there's this long stretch that's pretty much all souvenir shops. And basically everyone that I pass, someone is sitting there saying, "Hola, señorita, do you want to come and look? Do you want to buy anything?" It's definitely true that if you're walking along the main street here, Avenida Tulum, you'll see a lot of tourists. But if you just peel off 1 or 2 streets from the main street, there's a lot more local life. It's really interesting. It's not quite as separate as you might think. That said, I'm on the main stretch right now, and there is a church and I think school right here, which is really cool. That sign said books, karaoke, and happy hour all day. Has there ever been a more Claire Hawkins establishment? I think not. We will be going there later tonight. I definitely will make sure that I pop into a few of these stores later on, but first, I think it's time we pop into somewhere that has tacos. Now, if you're wondering how I'm able to start exploring immediately after arriving in a new destination, let me introduce you to the sponsor of today's video, Airlo. Airlo is an eSIM company that works in over 200 countries and regions around the world, offering you immediate online connection the moment you touch down in a new country. They have a super easy to use app that you can download to your smartphone before you even leave for your trip. You can select the region or country that you're traveling to and then pick the perfect plan for you. I highly recommend you download the Airlo app today so that you know you'll be connected on your next trip. Airlo was especially helpful here in Tulum because I needed to get online right away to figure out my transportation from Tulum Airport airport into the city. The Tulum airport is very new and hadn't opened yet when I was last here in 2021. So I had no idea where anything was, and I needed to look up information about the bus company that runs a shuttle from the airport to the city. Thanks to Airlo, I was able to connect right away and find all the information I needed to buy a bus ticket, look up bus times, and then navigate from the bus station to my accommodation in Pueblo. My Spanish is also a bit rusty at the moment, so I've been using Google Translate a lot, and it's giving me more confidence to try to use more of my Spanish. If you're looking for an easy, fast, and reliable way to stay connected on your next trip, download the Airlo app today. You can scan the QR code on the screen or use my code ClaireHawkins3 to get $3 off your first purchase of an eSIM. Check out the link in the video description to learn more, and thank you to Airlo for sponsoring this video. This place is not a hidden gem by any means. It's definitely very well known, but it's very well known with both tourists and locals, and the prices are unbeatable. I've gone for a huge plate of guacamole all to myself and 2 tacos. I got al pastor and chicken. I heard that al pastor is the thing that you definitely have to get here. The guacamole was about $4 US, and then each of the tacos was only around 80 cents, which is absolutely incredible. And of course they are delicious. And then I probably could have stopped eating then, but I saw that they had $2 tortas, so I got one. And now I am very, very full. There are definitely lots of happy hour options, and they're all at really nice looking places. Definitely points for atmosphere. The happy hour deals all seem to be 2 for 1 or 3 for 1 or something along those lines, but I am only one. So it's just about 7:30, which I think is the perfect time to go and check out this bar slash bookstore slash karaoke situation. How insanely cute is this place? I swear, if I lived here, I would come every day. It is a bar and a cozy library, and they have a therapy room. I don't even know what that is, but I love it. It's so nice. I think I did just learn a little lesson in Tulum time because I had heard that there was karaoke at 7, but there's actually an open mic night at 10. But it's fine. The happy hour here is also a 2 for 1, but it's 2 cocktails for about roughly $10, and you don't have to order them at the same time, which is a weird hack that some happy hours do. So essentially it's $5 cocktails, which I am very, very happy with. Good morning. I got up actually pretty early for technically vacation. I got up at 7. I just went for some breakfast at a French bakery that had been highly recommended. I heard that it had delicious pastries and French bread, and most importantly, great prices, and it delivered. It was so good. I'm really glad I started my day there. My plan for the day is to check out a few cenotes near Tulum. If you're not familiar, cenotes are natural sinkholes that are very, very common in this region, and they're beautiful and they're fantastic places to swim, snorkel, sometimes even dive, depending on how big they are. Personally, I'm just going to be swimming in them today, but I've heard that the earlier you go, the better, because of course, crowds, but also temperatures. So I'm up bright and early, and we're going to check out some cenotes. I'm going to attempt to take the colectivos. These are vans that are mostly used by locals. They're extremely affordable. I think maybe $1.50 or something around there. And it's going to save me a lot of money, because if I took a taxi, I think it would cost like $70.
Hola, voy a Cenote Azul. ¿Es aquí? ¿Cuánto cuesta?
60.
60?
Sí.
The only difficult thing is that they don't have schedules or routes that are published anywhere online. So to take the colectivos, you have to essentially stand on the side of the road until one appears, tell the driver where you're going, hand them some pesos. I think you need to have exact change because they don't really make change. And then when your stop is coming up, the driver will kind of give you a little heads up and you get off there. This is the scary part. Oh my gosh. We made it. crossing the highway. We made it. The Colectivo ride was a success. In the end, it took about 40 minutes because we had some pickups and drop-offs along the route, but it was super easy. I do think that I paid tourist pricing because I had been told it was probably gonna be between 30 and 40 pesos, and I ended up paying 60. That said, 60 pesos is about $3 US, so it's really, really affordable. And I do feel like I actually got special treatment paying the tourist price because everyone else in the van was local and they let me sit up front with the AC, which I thought was very nice. And I really cannot stress enough how kind everyone is here. I mean, truly, the other passengers in the Colectivo were so nice. They don't need to be. It was very, very nice. When you arrive here at Cenote Azul, the first thing you have to do is pay your entrance fee. I paid 180 pesos. That's about $9.50 US. I did see on the sign that if you pay in dollars, it costs $12, so pay in pesos. Make sure you have cash, but it doesn't need to be exact change. They will give you change. After you pay, they'll give you a little stamp on your arm, and then you go and you shower because it's really important that we protect these natural pools. So you have to shower off all your sunblock, and then you can go into the cenote. There are so many cenotes in the region and they're all pretty fantastic. The reason that I picked Cenote Azul is not only that it has a reputation for being very, very beautiful, but it's also walking distance from 2 other cenotes. So if I get bored here or if I feel like I've seen it all, I can just walk over to one of the other 2 without having to get on another Colectivo. Normally I have a no jumping off of cliffs rule while traveling. Just feels like a really safe line to draw. But there's a ledge here that everyone's jumping off of, and for some reason I feel inclined, but I am scared. I think I'm gonna go stand at it and see how far down it looks and then decide.
Ivy and vine, paper cut lines. This kind of sight, it robs ordinary people blind. Birdies and bees, clean bruise-free knees.
Okay, I have decided I'm doing it. I'm so scared. 1, 2, 3.
Bed uptown trains, boring holes in their brains, waiting for a gaze to make a change. Holes in the wall, can't really see it all. It's more than a walk down a hollowed hall.
It is amazing how clear this water is. You can see right to the bottom. There's no surprises. The fish come up and they eat the dead skin off the feet and you can see them. They're right there. It's crazy. That was absolutely awesome. I'm so glad I came here. And there are 2 other cenotes just walking distance from here. One is Jardín del Edén and the other is Cristalino. I'm trying to decide between the 2 of them. Both sound amazing, but I think Garden of Eden kind of sounds like the highest praise of a name, so I think we're going there. Now, if you're thinking, Claire, you're absolutely insane walking down the highway in a bathing suit. First of all, yes I am. Second of all, just to be clear, Cenote Azul is right there and I'm going right here. It took 30 seconds, I just want to be clear. Be safe, be careful, but it's right here. When I was in Playa, I actually remember that a group of friends I had made and I drove to these cenotes one day and I couldn't remember why we didn't end up going. I remember going to the entrance and being told for some reason that we couldn't go. And I just realized, seeing the sign there, it must have been that it was a Saturday and it's closed, at least this one is closed on Saturdays. So I'm glad it's the middle of the week now. I will admit the walk from the ticket counter to the actual cenote is a bit longer than I was expecting, but it's totally fine. I think it's going to be well worth it. Also, this cenote costs 300 pesos, so slightly more expensive than Cenote Azul, but I've heard that there is a cave at this one. It's so quiet here. I really thought there'd be way more people. There were lots of people arriving as I was leaving Cenote Azul, so maybe this one's less popular. I think it is less popular. There are a few families here. Both cenotes have seemed very, very family friendly, which is cool. But I feel like I have a whole section of this one to myself, and it's pretty big. I may have figured out why there aren't more people here. It's fully raining. I think the rain's gonna stop. I don't know. This is a hilarious experience. What a cool thing. One of the nice things about these cenotes is that even when they're really deep, there are lots of huge rocks really close to the surface. So if you get tired, you can just sit on a rock like I'm doing.
It's not a matter of taste, not a matter of saving space. What you promised to change will never change, never change.
I'm gonna do something a bit risky, which is walk 4 minutes to a taco place that I found on Google Maps right this way. Risky because it's definitely gonna rain. So I might be standing in the rain waiting for the colectivo back to Tulum. Right here is the third cenote option, which is Cenote Cristalino, and it's supposed to be another great one. Okay, the taco place doesn't exist anymore. It used to be here. We're gonna head back to Tulum. Hola, a Tulum. ¿Cuánto cuesta? 50. Perfecto, gracias. The moment I got on the colectivo, it started raining, and now that I'm back in Tulum, it's beautiful again. What amazing timing.
Ivy and vine, poison and wine. It's all a matter of how you choose to waste your time.
Today I have rented a bike. It cost me $12 US for the whole day. And I'm gonna do some exploring by bicycle. It is so hot and sunny. I'm drenched in sweat and I couldn't be happier.
I don't miss the city like I thought I would. I don't remember all that I should. The practice I'm giving up pushed me too hard. Tradition made me tough and broke my hungry heart.
This beach is called Playa Publica Roca because there is a large rock and it's a public beach. At least that's my understanding. That's how good my Spanish is. Right now it's the off season here in Tulum, so you'll see obviously the beach is pretty empty. Also, there is quite a lot of seaweed. So there isn't really ever bad weather in this part of the world. There is seaweed season and non-seaweed season, and that's kind of what determines the on and off season here in Tulum. So right now there's a lot of seaweed that has washed up on the beaches here, making them not exactly ideal for swimming. But if you travel here in the off season, prices are cheaper, there are fewer people, you get to have beautiful spaces like this to yourself. So I am definitely pro traveling in the off season. I would just maybe recommend an itinerary that's a little more cenote focused and a little less beach heavy. That said, I obviously wasn't gonna come here and not visit the beaches. So today's plan is to kind of cycle up and down the hotel zone here along the beach and see what we see. I've decided to stop at the very iconic Tulum sculpture garden here called Escultura Ven a la Luz. Even if you're just on a bicycle, you do have to pay for parking. I paid 50 pesos, so that's about $2.50. I'm right across from a Starbucks and Hawkins, which is a little hilarious. And we're gonna go see some sculptures. This is a very interesting spot. The name of the sculpture garden is actually Art With Me Park, and the famous sculpture there is Ven a la Luz, come into the light. Is it worth going? I paid $5 US basically to wait in line to take a picture with that famous sculpture. Look, if you're here in the off season, because I imagine the line in the on season is unbelievable, sure, go for it, why not? But also maybe don't. Look, if it's something that would make you happy, absolutely go, but I don't think I would generally recommend it as a must-do here in Tulum. But still, it was a nice excuse of a thing to do here in the hotel zone in Tulum, and I've really enjoyed bicycling up and down this stretch here. It's just very different from Pueblo and from La Valletta. Every neighborhood of Tulum really has its own personality, which I think is really, really cool and something that isn't really talked about so much when people talk about Tulum. It's really funny to me that there are long stretches of road here where I'm the only person. And it's funny because this is the only road. Okay, I'm not the only person, but you know what I mean. This is basically the only road to this section of Tulum. It's the beach road. I feel like I've only heard it referred to as that. I don't know if it has a longer name, but it's pretty empty. I don't know, I feel like I'm repeating myself throughout this video, but I'm very surprised that there aren't more people here when it's this beautiful. I've just cycled over to a beach club here called La Eufemia, which I've heard really good things about, that it's both nice and also reasonable in price. So we'll see, because I think in this area you can get all sorts of numbers going for food prices. I can definitely see why people like this place. It's definitely affordable. It's not the cheapest prices in all of Tulum, but for the beach stretch, it might be. I think it's actually the only place where there's no minimum spend to sit on the beach, which means that all of these chairs are free to use as long as, you know, you are a customer, of course. I think that this beach must be absolutely beautiful when the seaweed's not here. It's pretty fantastic right now, but you know, maybe not ideal for swimming, but the fact that I have the beachfront restaurant to myself, I could not possibly complain.
It's only me and my head that don't agree. What I want is already gone.
In total, my meal cost around $27 US. The drink alone was 10 of those dollars, so it's definitely more affordable food, and the drinks are certainly affordable, but on the pricier side just because I'm right on the beach.
Si c'est le pays où tu te la personnalité, c'est une partie que j'abandonne. C'est la voix qui me manque encore. Son chemin pour marcher, je cours. La rue qui me refuse déteste ma langue. La silence que je te donne remplace ma chance.
It is another beautiful day here in Tulum, but it's a different kind of beautiful. It is raining. I feel like the rain here though is kind of fake rain, where the sun is still out and the sky is still blue. I want, when people ask how are the Tulum ruins, to show them this. I just took a colectivo not very far from Tulum's Pueblo. I am going to visit the Tulum ruins today. There are a lot of Mayan ruins in this region of Mexico. There's the very famous Chichen Itza. There are also the Cobo ruins, which are about 45 minutes from Tulum. And I've actually visited both of those already. I visited the Cobo ruins when I was about 16 years old, and then I visited Chichen Itza in 2021 when I was living in Playa del Carmen. But I've never been to the Tulum ruins, and luckily they're right here. The colectivo cost me 30 pesos, so that's about $1.50, and it saved me from getting more wet in the rain. And now I think I'm here, but I'm trying to follow the signs to find out where I'm going. In this area, there are a lot of people trying to sell you things, and there's a possibility you might go up to the wrong place. So I just want to be clear, this white building is where you buy your tickets to the national park. Anything else is something else. I don't know what, but this is where you buy them. All right, my friends, we have a bit of a silly situation here. It's raining really hard, but I'm already here and I just paid the 20-something dollars to access the national park. And then it's another, I think, $5 to enter the ruins, which I haven't paid yet, but I'm already $20 deep, so we're doing this with a towel on my head. now it has stopped raining. I don't know. We might be back and forth on the rain all day, but regardless, here is the bus to the ruins, which is included in your ticket. The ruins are located inside of the national park here in Tulum, so you do have to pay an entrance fee of 415 pesos, which is around 22 US dollars, just to get into the park. They'll give you these bracelets, and the nice thing about the bracelet is that it includes transportation on the bus that gets you to the entrance to the ruins, where you have to then pay another 100 pesos, which is around 5 US dollars, to actually get into the ruins part of the national park. In addition to the ruins, the national park also has beach access, as well as I heard there's a cenote. So once you pay the entrance fee, you can stay the whole day and explore, but it's good to note that these bracelets are unique to the day that you visit. So if you're in Tulum for several days, you can't reuse this. You'll have to pay again to come back to the park. So I did just learn kind of the hard way that there's also an extra charge if you have a GoPro. They won't let you in without paying. It's only like $3 more, it's nothing crazy, but there is kind of this overall feeling of sort of hoops you have to jump through, which is to say, to buy your ticket to the national park, you have to use card, but then to buy your ticket to the ruins, you have to use cash. So it would just be a real bummer if someone got here, you know, traveled all the way and then wasn't allowed in because they only had card or only had cash or didn't have enough cash for the GoPro, or I don't know. It's good to do research ahead of time. I'll say this, now that I'm here, I'm grateful that I jumped through all the hoops that you have to jump through. I feel like also one of the hoops was just the fact that it was raining. So I feel like I really worked to get here, which is so silly, but I'm really happy to be here now. I am definitely very grateful that it's not more crowded. I don't know how much of that was helped by the torrential downpour. Okay, I'm exaggerating. It just rained, it's fine. But it did make it cooler, and you can actually hear the waves in the distance. I don't actually think they're that far in the distance. I think we're quite close to the beach, which is really spectacular. There are tours that you can take of the ruins, and normally I would sign up for one, but today I'm just really enjoying this solo travel experience, and there actually are quite a lot of signs explaining what everything is, which I do really appreciate. I like that I can just go at my own pace and take things in and walk over to areas where there aren't other people. I don't think the camera's picking it up, but there is some really loud thunder. It's freaking me out a little because it's not currently raining, but I don't know that we're done with rain for the day. That's it. I don't think you can hear it, but I can hear it.
It's only me and my head that don't agree. What I want is already gone. Si c'est le pays où es-tu de la personnalité, c'est une partie que j'abandonne.
This ruin behind me, which looks very ominous with the dark clouds behind it, is called El Castillo, which translates to the castle, and it is certainly the most famous, most iconic one here on the property. It may look a little familiar if you've been to Chichen Itza. This is also a step pyramid, so it's built in the same style. Okay, now there's lightning and more thunder. I think I've accepted my fate that I am going to end up in a thunderstorm. I know you heard that thunder. Earlier, when I referred to the rain as a torrential downpour, I was exaggerating. Now I am not. I don't know why I'm bothering with this towel. It's so silly. I'm soaking wet, but I do have my camera. I'm currently vlogging on my GoPro, which is waterproof, but I'm really just trying to keep my other camera dry. This is such an adventure. This is so silly, and this is so... we're in the jungle in Mexico. wild. The Tulum ruins are Mayan ruins that were built between the 13th and 15th centuries, and they were mainly used as a trading port. This was a walled city, so all the nobility and higher class people lived within the walls, and the rest of the people lived outside of the walls in the jungle. Its proximity to the water made it a great spot for trade, and now it makes it a great spot for swimming when it's not thunderstorming. I can't really say that it's raining less, but I can't stand here forever, and I'm wet anyway. It's fine. I have my bathing suit on under my clothes. I thought maybe I was gonna swim. There's something so silly about this. I really love it. In a hilarious and classic turn of events, it's now sunny again. I will admit I had a moment there where I was kind of doubting whether or not it was worth it for me to come today to the ruins, but in the end I'm so glad that I did, and I feel like I got certainly a unique experience. I have to say, experiencing a thunderstorm surrounded by Mayan ruins was very, very interesting and bizarre and hilarious and just a cool day. Sadly, with that, my Tulum trip has come to an end. I feel like I have gotten to see so much of this incredible city. I really came in with some preconceived notions that Tulum was going to be a certain way or only welcome a certain type of visitor, and I was wrong. I really think that there's something for everyone here. For those of you who have been to Tulum, I would love to know your thoughts. Let me know in the comments, is this a place that you like? Is this a place you come back to? Was it a one and done? I'm really curious when my next trip will be, and I really do feel like I will be back at some point. As always, the music in this video was my own original music. I've linked it in the video description, and you can find me wherever you get music online by searching Claire Hawkins. Thank you all so much for watching, and I'll talk to you very soon.